Tarumbeta italia katika anga.
Like this. That is how the trumpet will sound.
Konene, so kuna clip flani ile sijui nilisahau kubongaje juu yake, but ilikuwa clip flani ya kuna kafala kalitokea na ufala alikuwa na claim vile alikuwa paid na akina Sifuna. Na after kuwa paid na akina Sifuna, kuna vile like alikuwa na fakudu throw Teargas, I think akina Sifuna wakiwa on stage, but somehow his conscience ilibaki ime come in, alafu he didn't throw the Teargas. And it's one of those situations whereby it shows you how divided we are right now, because there are people who actually believe this nonsense, and the nonsense is akina Sifuna somehow decided that they wanted to disrupt their own very successful rallies, and I'd wonder why. And kuna sort of argue that they wanted to destroy those rallies because of sympathy. They are looking for sympathy. So kuna kamse kamekuwa kakigo round, and unajua like what happens, people will just give him the microphone and he talks. So wacha tucheki
iende wale in fact ilikuwa irushwe pale katikati hapo kwa dais. Bas so sisi mimi niliangalia nikasema hii kitu nikienda Kakamega nianze kufanya hii mambo, na mimi ni mtu wa DM, ni kama nasaliti mheshimiwa Sala.
Okay.
Yeah.
Video
umesikio part, like if you want to hear the nonsense, ukisikia nimesaliti mheshimiwa Sala, you know that this is someone who's either trying to get paid by Sala or has been already paid by Sala, and this is an opportunity tunajua kusifua msee. Because Sala right now I'd say is the new Sonko. Sonko alingiaga kwa game kimchezo tu hivyo, handouts, and before we knew it Sonko was who he is, and the same thing ina happen na Sala.
Venye imeenda viral hivi, kuna messages umereceive watu wanakuulizia rada nini?
Yes, nimeona pale kwa Twitter kina Babu Owino.
Kando yangu ni fan wa ODM. Juzi ametokezea akasema Teargas walikuwa wamebaiwa waende walipue Kakamega ndio ionekane government of Kenya anapiga Sifuna. Na video yake imeenda viral sana juzi, watu wakasema si atoe evidence ama nini. So nimepatana naye leo siku ya pili. Bro, karibu sana.
Asanteni sana.
Majina yako ni?
Majina yangu ni Kauma. Na niko na aka Chairman CBD.
Okay. Juzi umesema juzi mlikuwa mmepangwa mwende mulipue Teargas meeting ya Kakamega ndio ionekane government inawapige.
Yes, tulikuwa tumepangwa pale Kangware 4A.
So, try to imagine you're looking for goons. And you're not just looking for goons, but you're looking for just some random Kenyans who can go and disrupt a meeting in Kakamega. If you're disrupting a meeting in Kakamega, you have to have exit plans. It has to be somewhere where you understand. And familiarity inakuwaga very important, because it would be better to mobilize wase local so that they can do this. But this guy wants us to believe that alitukuliwa from Kawangware akapelekwa Kakamega. Ncheki. And as I keep saying, we're so divided that this story is actually was on a believe.
Now we were to be there at tulikuwa tutoke pale usiku Friday tufike Kakamega Saturday, but singeweza ku manage because nikiangalia venye mambo ilikuwa pale singeweza kwenda because
mlikuwa mpewe pesa ngapi hapo?
Ilikuwa tukitoka hapa unapewa 5,000 then ukirudi 5,000 which is 10,000.
Mko na Teargas bado?
Tulikuwa na Teargas.
So ukaikataa 10,000 bro?
Nilikataa because 10,000 huwezi pima na maisha yako. Because saa zingine unajua naangalianga, na mimi kama fan wa ODM from baba before baba kufe, na mimi ni fan wa OK Sala. I have been with OK Sala na nimeona amenisaidia hata mimi mwenyewe na
Matiki story. This is all about OK Sala. And mseko na do, and I think people are trying to get every coin from him. So niyo, mimi ni saliti OK Sala, mimi ni saliti OK Sala, mimi nitoke so kona jua na OK Sala, and you knew about this story akina Sifuna organizing it. Why didn't you let OK Sala know before? Damn.
Na nimesaidia vijana wenzangu.
So ilikuwa mkifika Kakamega meeting, mnaitupa aje yote kama ilikuwa mpango ilikuwa aje?
Watu wenye wanatembea na maralis, wakiita maralis ambaye ieleweki. Kina Babu Owino akinithreaten ya kwamba DC anafaa kunishika.
Wanakuthreaten?
Yeah. Babu Owino ananithreaten ati DC anafaa kunishika, na mimi sina shida ati watu wake wananithreaten hapa kwa Granada watanikujia na maguns. I'm also a goon in town.
Na kuna evidence ukisapeleka kotini?
Niko na evidence mpaka mali hao watu wanajifanya kwamba hii Teargas wanauziwa, na hakuna askari yote anahusika na Teargas yao watu. Hakuna mtu yote ilikuwa yao ambao wanabeba. na ni kama wameipanga. Hata sasa wanapanga hata wakienda Mombasa wafanye sarakasi waseme ni government.
Okay, so hizi vitu zote pia the question that you normally have to ask yourself is what do they stand to benefit? Wakifanya hivi wana stand to benefit nini? And with that, the only thing that ends up happening is, ama you end up seeing is there's nothing that they stand to benefit. The only people that stand to benefit this is msekama Okitsala. If you can bring someone to claim that they changed their mind because of him, it helps him somehow. I don't know, maybe I think because anatafuta some I don't know, ni sympathy vote or something, I don't know. But talking of Kenyan politics, of course Kenyan politics inakuwaga stranger than fiction. So kulikuwa na story ingine pia ile ni cheki, and the story is land ya State House inakuwa grabbed. And it's one of those stories that if you had it from a random news station, you take it as pure bullshit. But when you see Nation reporting on that, that's when you're like, damn.
Nani ana grab land ina belong to State House? That's the question Wakenya wengi wanajiuliza after State House Comptroller Mr. Ole Metito kuambia National Assembly that a significant portion ya land ya State House na state lodges across the country imekuwa grabbed. Na si grabbing too, they are even building houses on it. For example, a house imekuwa built on a land grabbed in Kisumu State House land. Allegedly, the house belongs to an nominated MCA. Na amesema the most affected areas in Nakuru, Eldoret and Kisumu.
So, hii inanikumbusha, I think it was last year or the year before when we had that title deed ya KBC lipotea. And pia at some point tukasikia title deed ya State House here Nairobi lipotea. And I remember dismissing those stories as bullshit because it does not matter if you have the title deed, it's not yours, najua. The same thing inasemekana Ruto used to have the title deed ya Procession Road. As soon as another president came in and the president was not ready for bullshit, what did the then minister do, ama the then whatever, Eldoret North MP do? He gave back that title deed. The same thing, like if you have title deed ya State House, what are you going to do with it? But hiyo ndio kitu nakuonyeshaga, it's actually they themselves. Hao wenyewe tu kwa wenyewe ndio wanadu hivi. People in Ruto's government. Otherwise, no normal Kenyan would try to grab part ya State House. Like how would you do that? Yeah? Like utafanya nini? Ni kama kupata ID ya Ruto imeanguka kwa street alafu kuitumia kwenda kuiba nayo M-Pesa. Of course you won't do that. You'll just, I don't know if you'll report to the nearest police station, but you'll be scared. You won't do anything. So no one is going to grab State House land, and you cannot convince me that a normal average Kenyan is doing that.
In Kakamega, about 100 acres of land zilikuwa grabbed zimekuwa recovered. As National Assembly insist on repossession of this grabbed land. At the same time, the government is planning to spend over 1 billion shillings to renovate State House and state lodges across the country in the next financial year. However, National Assembly inasema first, let's resolve this land disputes before renovating. And so the question is, who is grabbing these lands and when did we reach there as a country?
Okay, so yeah, who's grabbing this land? So who do you think is grabbing land here, State House? Could it be the same people who, because kitu moja tunajuaga ni State House iko above the law, and by State House I mean the institution plus the resident, and that's the reason why nimekuwa nikiteta sana juu historia tunaambiwa kutakuwa na vetting ya the borders because they've been discrimination of this, discrimination of that. This of course comes after just last week I think kulikuwa na thwarted terrorist attack that was thwarted, kumbuka. And now try and imagine if the borders are open. But now apart from that, what was it like the standard? Yeah, Leo, what was the headline? Kwani RSF passport shame. Ikakuwa a diplomatic storm is brewing after the US sanctioned Algone Hamdan Daglo Musa, younger brother of RSF commander Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, for alleged genocide, weapons procurement and financing paramilitary operations in Sudan. Shockingly, US records show that he holds a Kenyan passport, raising questions about how a warlord secured the official document. The revelation threatens to intensify scrutiny over Kenya's past engagements with RSF. Let's get you. Yeah. So, RSF. Mse wa RSF yuko na passport ya Kenya. Alafu mse US inasema that yuko involved na stories za war. And yeah, that's where we are. And don't forget, like ukiangalia nini, you can actually see that yuko hapo. brother yake yuko hapo akisalimia Ruto, and apart from that the passport mpaka the passport number ya hufala iko hapo. So mse iko na passport ya Kenya na iko wanted as a warlord. Now try and imagine how many people from Somalia watakuwa na passport ya Kenya. How many? Quite interesting. Alafu what will happen? These same people will go to another country, do some terrorist bullshit, and what happens? Passport yetu inaenda chini. Kusikosha wachigize movie za waju, unanotisigi they can't even tell the difference between msa ametoka Som na Mkenya. Haezi ona. So msaki commit crime huko itakuwa sisi sasa wa Kenya. Alafu itafanya passport yetu iendelea kwenda chini. But what's going to happen? As long as the president wins the next election, I don't think it's a big deal. Najua Kenya tunakuwa a very interesting country because of the things that we look at when it comes to elections. Kumbuka, at some point all we are worried about ni kama the president has a foreskin or not. Now saizi, now we are worried about something else. Najua saizi I think we've moved on to now the president now has to win it by all means necessary. Even if we have an open border, as long as he wins, haijalishi. So hapo ndio place tumefika, and it is what it is. And still talking of politics, kuna hii clip moja ilinibamba sana. I'm looking forward to watching the whole show. But hii clip ilikuwa clip ya Kwambox. Kwambox alikuwa amefika kwa Eotwe every other time with Eric. Na udem kuna vile jo amekula moto jo na Kasmuel jo. Nataka kusikia opinion ya Kasmuel on this baadaye.
I can't believe if Sifuna anataka kutoka si akwende. I'm like, was I with you? Tulikuwa tunakula Teargas na wewe just two years ago.
But how is Gen Z forgotten? Because it ties into all this. And by Gen Z, I mean the movement. Because I remember what was starkly clear was these guys who are purported or who present themselves as the alternative voice. When the Gen Z...
Say Kasmuel. Say Kasmuel.
Not even Kasmuel. Even like Sifuna.
Okay, so irritating. Kasmuel, I know you're watching this. You're so irritating. Guy.
That's a clip. because
I can't believe if Sifuna anataka kutoka si akwende. I'm like, was I with you? Tulikuwa tunakula Teargas na wewe just two years ago. Tao. Na umevaa suti full 3-piece. I'm wondering, who the fuck is this 3-piece nigga? And there's something everybody kept saying. This is an opportunist motherfucker. And guess what? You have turned out to be exactly...
Damn. Okay, Kasmuel. Najua Kasmuel anakuaga, as I always say, is a divisive figure. Because personally, I always understand why he did what he did. But a lot of people don't cut him that slack. So inakuaga, it's just one of those that things that so nilibaki nimeshtuka sana because nilicheki hapo tapia Kwambox alitoa gloves zote akamwa Kasmuel kula hiyo ngumi. Naweza taka kuona kama he'll actually respond to this ama tabaki amelenga. But pia another thing that of course ikikam to stories za Kasmuel, one thing ile mushindagwa ni now what's going to happen to him. Because he had to betray, I think, everything that he believed in, especially in this fight against Sifuna. The Kasmuel that we used to see kwa protest would be on the side of Sifuna, but he had to betray all that. So I don't know what he's been promised by Akinawanga. I don't know what he'd been promised by Raila. And are these people going to actually give him that? Or are they just going to make him make noise, lose all political credibility, and then end up throwing him away? So I don't know what's going to happen with that. But make sure watch your episode ya ni Eotwe na Kwambox, man. Alafu tucheki kunendaje. So niambie, wewe ndio na grab your land ya State House ama ni nani jo? Cause kikam tu hizi so nimekuwa nikifikiria kitu fulani hapo ile na nilikuuliza Raya. Kuna organism neighborhoods zile waga lazima mtu anunue a certain chunk of land. So what if Raya za kawaida zinaweza shikana kadhaa? Alafu ikue, we don't need all this. I don't need a whole acre. Just need to live in your neighborhood. Is it actually legal kwa hizo neighborhoods? Like wase kubai vitu ndogo ndogo mnashikana alafu mna, of course not an eighth and not maybe a quarter. Yes, a quarter, yeah, not an eighth but a quarter. Is it legal? Is it my neighborhoods? Ama mtu anazambua chukua hiyo quarter yako baki umeingiza kwa haga. Okay, I don't know. It's just me thinking out loud. But it is what it is. Iko nene. Ekonene, najua mwaka ni mpya lakini injili ni ile ile Lemfi. So kama uko US, uko UK, uko Canada ama uko the UAE na unatry kutuma do Kenya, baki umechangamka, ingia Lemfi, utabaki umepata the most competitive rates. Lakini apart from that, on your first transaction ya $100 or more, utapata $20 sign up reward. So unangoja nini? Baki umechangamka, chap chap, ingia Lemfi. Lemfi, international payments for everyone. Ekonene.